So about InfosecTrain, we are a company leading in cybersecurity training plus data privacy in the last 2.5 years as well. So we started in 2016 and we provide wide range of professional training programs, certification and consulting, right? And so before course introduction, I didn't give an introduction about myself, right? So as I told you, my name is Jendra Kumar. I have around 12 plus of years experience right now, and I run data privacy consulting programs for organizations. So I run my own consulting firm in terms of data privacy program implementation, and I'm being implementing data privacy programs across many organizations, including Middle East and Indian companies. I recently completed a data privacy program for one of the largest electric vehicle manufacturer in India, and I'm implementing data privacy program for one of the largest telecom company in the Middle East. So that's my consulting side, but I'm a very passionate trainer. I've been into data privacy training for the last 2.5 years, and I have helped more than 100 plus people clear the certifications, and have helped. I've at least trained for around 1,000 candidates on the different certification programs, right? So that's about me, and so we'll quickly get started with the course introduction. So the DPO course is a hands-on course, and it's been customized towards both Indian DPDP Act as well as GDPR. So it helps you to get that essential knowledge and skills for effective data protection and privacy management. This is the most important point. So what we are trying to do here is keep the baseline of two important laws. One is the Indian law. Of course, we are trying to cater to the Indian market predominantly, and we are also keeping the global best practice, which is the GDPR. So it's a win-win. If you're across the world, anywhere you're joining this course, you are definitely going to get the best practices out of the GDPR, which is considered as a gold standard of data privacy laws. And plus, we are also looking at the Indian market and equipping you with the right knowledge required to handle the data privacy program. All right. So the course objective will be help you to gain a comprehensive hands-on knowledge, creating and implementing data privacy program. It's it's gonna help you to develop a skill set to perform your day-to-day responsibility for data privacy, understand the nuances of your obligations as controller and processor, and also help you to look into various obligations of handling data subject rights, your data breach management, your assessments, yeah, building privacy by design into the product and services, right? So that's going to be the course objective, and this is a detailed uh, course coverage. If you see, this itself will give you a fantastic idea about how this course has been designed. So the chapter 1 is going to be completely on the foundation part. Okay, so here we are focusing on the knowledge about how you need to approach data privacy program as such, right? So here we are going to cover the laws and the best practices. We are going to look at a comparative view between GDPR and the DPDP Act. So you'll get an excellent platform of launching yourself into the data privacy domain. And so that's the crux of the module 1. Module 2 will be, now we are entering into the business zone. The first one is your data privacy governance, in terms of how do you create a data privacy program from scratch, right? So we look in terms of your privacy governance, your policies, procedures, your privacy by design, privacy policy, notice, and everything. So in this chapter, it's only mainly discussing about the governance and the requirements of it. So every chapter is going to be a case study approach, and we are going to have case studies clearly discussed part of each and every chapter, right? And module 3 is data discovery, records of processing activity, and data retention. A very, very important chapter. This is where we are going to discuss the approach of how do you build your personal data inventory. So we are going to discuss about the mandatory fields as per GDPR in records of processing activity for a controller versus a processor, and how do you come up with the retention schedules, data disposal requirements, and a very interesting case study there, right? And module 4 will be consent and cookies, a very, very important topic, because this is one area which, in my experience, I can say many organizations are not putting enough focus upon, and many organizations are now recently getting a lot of fines for this particular area, especially your website cookie consent management is not up to date. Even in GDPR, there are many companies which are getting penalties on this, and almost all the big names, starting from your Google to Meta, many of these companies have got penalties on this particular area. A very, very important topic. How do you understand about consent? What is a valid consent? The types of cookies, a very, very detailed discussions on cookies, and doing a cookie audit, and how do you report it. So these are the important aspects of your module 4. Module 5 will be your assessments, the different types of assessment, the confusion area of privacy impact assessment, data protection impact assessment versus an audit, privacy threshold assessment, DPIA triggers, application and the process, legitimate interest assessment, and a case study. So here we will pick up a completed DPIA, completed legitimate interest assessment. I'll run you through each and every step in terms of how do you need to complete it on your own. Okay. The next is your data subject rights management, a very, very important requirement, I would say, because this is one segment which is common across all the data privacy laws. Okay, so it might vary in terms of the number of rights, but the data subject rights is a mandatory requirement across all the data privacy laws, right? So with that, you will see the nuances of how to handle the data subject rights. What is more important is we are going to discuss about the decision points. There are a lot of important decision points when it comes to your data subject rights. So you will get great understanding of how to decide on certain rights, and how do you actually handle them. There are some very important nuances which I'll try to give you, where you have to reject certain requests, where you have to take up certain requests without an exemption. So all these nuances will be discussed part of the module 6. Module 7 is your data breach management, incident versus breach. How do you define the breach, and how do you do a breach impact assessment? We will take a live case and see about the breach impact assessment. How do you quantify the breach impact assessment, right? So again, we will try to have a small case study to discuss about the breach impact assessment, and how do you compile your breach register and the case study part of it, right? And the last module is your vendor management, a very, very important chapter, I would say, for the Indian scenario, because in the Indian scenario there is no direct obligations for the processor under the law. So everything is going to be on the controller, so which means we are going to have a very stringent vendor due diligence and vendor risk management going forward in the Indian environment, right? So that makes this module very, very important. So we are going to discuss about the cross-border data transfer and the relevant impact assessment as well, part of this chapter. So we will try to do a transfer impact assessment for a scenario with the step-by-step of a completed transfer impact assessment. Although this will be completely from GDPR, because the Indian law has yet to come up with some specific rules around it. So we are going to even cover the global requirement of how do you do a TIA. All right. So this is the course coverage. So you see the first three courses are directly from IAPP. That's a certifications which have worldwide recognition. Anywhere you go around the world, you will get value for the certification irrespective of where you are from. So these are three different variants, have three different objectives. The first one is your CAPPE. It's specifically for looking at your laws and regulations. So this is your GDPR. So why we have only CIPPE is because we are focusing on the global best standard, which is your GDPR law. Okay. So we only cater to GDPR here. We do not look any other variants of CAPP. CAPP also has a US version. It has a Asia version. It has a Canada version, but we are only focusing on GDPR because I've trained candidates all around the world who still take CIPPE, because this is a go-to certification, because GDPR is the most comprehensive law. If you understand GDPR, then obviously you can cater to any other data privacy laws around the world. All right. That's the reason this is the excellent foundation for you to go for data privacy knowledge. And CIPM is your first and only privacy certification which is there for your managing day-to-day operations of a privacy program. This is equivalent to your CISSP and CISM. Okay, so this is a manager certification which is equivalent to your CISM and CISSP. So people with CISM and CISSP, this is the best equivalent of that in the data privacy domain. Okay, so I would recommend you to get this certification because this is going to have a great demand and value in the market, and it might be become a mandate for you to go and get this certification in the future, because organization data does include personal data as well. So you need to protect personal data with the relevant controls. The last is your CIPT, which is more of the technology layer of your privacy. So how do you build your privacy by design and requirements of your privacy requirements in software development tools and technologies. So this certification is more suited for someone who started his career into your technology, or they want stay on the technology side of architects. So this course will be the best suited one. So among the ease of certification, CIPPE is the easiest out of the three, and CIPM there's the next level of difficulty, and CIPT is the toughest of all the three, right? Because you need to understand technology, you need to understand governance, and you also need to be a tech savvy person to clear the certification. So I have all these three certifications, and I'm an official IPP trainer here. So that's one part of the story. But let's come to the DPO. So DPO is a course which is gonna cover the horizontals of all the three, right? So we have structured this course in a way that it's gonna pay an excellent foundation for all the three. As I told you earlier, this will not be sufficient to directly go for the exam like CIPM, because they have their specific curriculum. But we have done the curriculum of DPO in a way that's going to help you great assurance of getting that foundation very clearly, right? So that's the DPO course foundation that's going to help you to best prepare for CAPP and CAPM. All right, and DPO is a course that's going to cover the delta of CAPP, CAPM, and CAPT. How does it? How do I say that? Because this course has a fixed curriculum, right? So we may not have time to go into look into specific templates, specific assessments, right? How do you handle data subject requests? What are the nuances of data subject requests? So we don't have the time to go through each and every specific use case, because they demand their own specific curriculum. That's what we focus of these certification training, correct? But in DPO is a course where we start with the basics and then we cover the advanced level as well. So this is a course which is going to be a best win-win certification for someone who want to get the foundation to the advanced in one level. But this is not a IAPP certification. This is what I want to highlight. DPO is not a IAPP certification, but the other three are IAPP certifications. So if this course is not focused on the certification part but the knowledge part. I'm repeating again, the first three are IAPP certifications. DPO is not IAPP certification. You will only get a course completion certificate here. As I told you, I am focusing more in terms of the knowledge part, which is going to help you to bridge the gap and become a seasoned data privacy professional. That's my intent with the data protection officer course. All right. Rajesh, it will be difficult to pick up each and every case studies, but I told you, I can tell you one case study for assessments. We'll pick up each assessment with a specific use case. For example, how do you do a DPIA for a CCTV camera? How do you do a legitimate interest assessment when you're doing a direct marketing, or if you're doing for a specific background verification, right? So we are going to use that case study and drill down the steps with a completed assessment, right? So that's going to be a fantastic way for you to perform any assessment of the same nature in the future, or a different use case as well. All right. Does the CAPT have practical exam? No, Amit. It doesn't have any. It follows the same pattern like other IAPP exams. There is no technical exam as such. Okay, there is no sort of work. What do you say, like, it's not like your CEH or other certifications where you have to give a practical test, something like that. No, it doesn't have something like that. Is there any certification for DPO as well? Yes, we provide a course completion certificate for sure that says that you have completed DPO training. Does InfosecTrain have training for CAPP? Yes, Justin. I've been doing this for the last 2.5 years. So, Justin, I have helped more than 100 plus people clear these certifications. So, you can get in touch with us. Are we covering live cases and conducting EPIA? Absolutely, yes, Ganesh. And moreover, on practical to gain experience on data privacy role, yes. Whatever you're asking is definitely going to be covered part of the curriculum. All right. Can lawyers do CIPT or is too technical? Directly CIPT, no, Shavana. I'll be very honest. So you have to start with CIPPE, then probably go for CIPT. Okay, or CAPM, then go for CIPT. Don't directly jump to CIPT. As I told you, it's one of the toughest certification out of the three. Okay, you have an LLM data privacy, that's really good, but IAPP curriculum is very different. I'm not sure how exactly things are covered. See, most of the people who are seniors here, they understand that your exam curriculum is different from your college or course curriculums because they are very very different. These are very very specific to a specific course outline created by the certification bodies, right? So you need to have one exam experience of CIPP or CIPM before going to CIPT. All right, so let's come back to our content. Keep writing your questions. Who should join this course? This course is something which I would recommend for people who are eyeing the role of data protection officer, who are already working in a mid management level, and you are working in information technology, you are working in information security with CISM, CSSP certifications. You are already in a position where you are managing GRC and other functions. This is the best opportunity for you to upskill yourself. And CISOs, right? Chief Information Security Officer, at least 7 to 8 CISOs joined my CAPM training, and they are all interested to become DPO. So this is course which is there for CISOs as well, and anyone who is planning for data protection roles within the organization definitely can take up this training, right? So who anyone like very young in experience also, this is a golden opportunity for you to scale your careers with the DPO, right? You are maybe staying ahead of the curve. That's the reason I would say this certification is really suited for even people without the experience as well, right? So like me, who are consultants, who are working for different clients, this course is going to give you a lot of practical insight. And individuals who are experienced in audit, IT, legal, information security, who are aiming for a career change or with a data privacy role, this course is also best suited for you, right? So professional who want to learn about Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which could be more of a curiosity and equipping yourself better, this is also a better opportunity. All right, so these are the kind of people who will all be suitable to pick up this course. There is no prerequisite. If you have a fundamental knowledge of GDPR and primary knowledge of present data privacy obligation will help you a lot, but fundamentally there is no a clear prerequisite for this course as well as your CAPP courses. Okay, so what is a unique feature of this DPO training and certification which we are conducting here? So we are flexible to create a schedule which is going to be very useful. This is going to be conducted on a weekend model, and which is going to help all the professionals who are working, right? And so we first time we will introduce you recorded training sessions. So whoever is part of my earlier sessions, they know there is a challenge with the recorded session for IAPP because IAPP has restricted us from recording sessions, right? That is there for any IAPP official trainer, but this is something which we provide. This is our course, so we will be able to provide you with the recorded sessions. This is a very big difference between the other IAPP courses and DPO training, right? So the course, the group will be active till for a very long time, and this will be customized training curriculum. And the people who were there associated with me, we are all part of a big community. We help each other in terms of with the knowledge. What are the key differentiator? It's going to be a very practical and quality preparation, sufficient time to understand complex topics. So data privacy is a law. It's a complex topic. There is no doubt about that. But people who have done training with me, they will never feel that they understood a law. So we make it very, very simple. We break it down to very practical examples relating to our day-to-day life. So everyone gets the crux of it very easily, right? So I am an FIP, fellow in privacy, with all the certifications whichever we saw earlier. I do have a rich information security background. I'm a certified information systems auditor and a cloud auditor with CSA Star. So I do have a well-rounded experience covering this. I do have an MBA from Symbiosis in terms of IT business management. I worked in Big Four consulting firm for a long time. I was working in Middle East, so I carry all these rich experience in terms of giving these trainings, right? And this is a very, very important point: guaranteed lowest price. You will find a similar program running at between 60,000 to 80,000 in India or abroad. In abroad it will be more than a lakh, right? So here we are conducting this course at a very, very subsidized price. So you can check the, you can do the comparison, and then you will find out. Look at the curriculum, whatever we are covering. Look at the other curriculums as well, and then you will definitely know that we are doing great justice here, right? It's going to be completely case study approach, and I'll be sharing a lot of templates, right, and useful materials in terms of doing this exercise in the future. All right. A CAPP preferred for an absolute fresher for a prerequisite. For DPO, I would still say you can come and join here. It's going to help you for the CAPP as well. There's no doubt. I leave the choice for you. You can join CAPP or DPO. Both is going to help you a lot, right? It depends on your what you want. You want to go for the knowledge, come for CAPP. You want a world recognized certification, come for CAPP. This is the difference, I would say. DPO focused on the knowledge part, and the other certification is the worldwide recognition of certification like CAPPE, CAPM, and CAPT. Okay, so I'm the trainer. There is no difference between for me in terms of these courses of recognition. Of course, recognition is there for IPP certifications, which is going to be there with you for a very long time, but this is a course that's more focused on the knowledge part. Okay, I'm a CDPSC certified. Which one should I choose? I'm CSSP, CISM. So, Shailendra, why don't you go for DPO? And you already have a CDPSC, that's gonna really help you. I'm an InfoSec CyberSec professional. Which cert in privacy will support me? So, Kiran, you are already into InfoSec and CyberSec. You need to look at a combination of what you want to achieve. If you're looking for a DPO level in your organization, go for CIPM and DPO course. Or if you're starting afresh in the ladder, and maybe you're with 1 to 3 year experience of 5 year experience, probably start with CIPPE and DPO as a combination. Okay. Can you share the course content once again? I'll do that little later. Will the training make job ready? Yes, Rajesh. To a great extent, we will help you to get the knowledge to crack the interviews. Our training is nowhere any placement support. That's never a possibility for any company to vouch. They will give placement support, but here what we are focusing is to help you to get that foundation very clearly to answer any interview question if you understood the concept. Okay. So I'm gonna just show you some glimpses of DPO responsibilities, right? This is what is expected from you in an organization. So if you're gonna be a DPO, you need to understand the landscape of your organization, what kind of data that you are gonna handle, right? Your process and in terms of product and services. So that's the first and foremost responsibility of your DPO, because any decisions that you're going to take is going to be dependent on the organization's practices and your other obligations as well. So here the second is clearly carve out your legal, regulatory, and contractual obligations. This is the foundation for your data privacy program. Without this, you cannot build a program at all. And the third is start doing your gap assessments. This includes a primary gap assessment against the law. And once you have the gap, then you will start. You will be ready to have your efforts clearly carved out in terms of building your program policies, procedures, and the controls. Right. So once you have the gaps and everything carved out, you will start with the framework. So part of the framework, you will build the policy, procedures, and everything. And next is your organization structure will get implemented soon. Once you define it, then you start defining the roles and responsibility of different stakeholders. This goes hand in hand, these two steps. Creating awareness is a continuous journey, but still this is something very important once you have created your framework. And develop your PD inventory and data flow diagram. So this actually is a sequence, is not a waterfall model. In fact, after your gap assessment, you have an option to start with your inventory. Okay. And also you might start with your policies and procedures. Typically organizations go for inventory and framework what we say, we go it together in an approach which is going to aid each other. Yeah, it's going to be requirement that we cannot delay the framework development much later. It will go hand in hand. All right. So then is the mandatory assessments which is required by the law. This is where we are going to conduct the DPIA, LIA, transfer impact assessment, right? So next is your data subject rights management, and next is your breach impact management, and the last is your continuous improvement where you go for privacy audits, your certifications like 27701. All these things comes part of the last stage. Okay, so if you see this, all these important steps are covered part of the DPO curriculum, right? So starting with your fundamental understanding of your laws, your in terms of the governance, and then going for the respective like inventory is your data discovery, retention, right? And then going for the subsequent assessment, data subject rights, data breach management, and finer nuances like cookie management and vendor due diligence. All right. So these are some of the important aspects that we are going to cover. Okay.